This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 6 o'clock on Good Morning Indiana, a pedestrian hit and killed by a Metro police officer on the southwest side of Indianapolis overnight. What we know about the crash and the officer involved.
He was so nice, and he loved the students here so much. They were his family.
A Central Indiana high school is mourning the loss of their beloved athletic director after his death from COVID-19. How his students and community are honoring him this morning. The coronavirus outbreak impacting many businesses and organizations, including animal shelters. What one local shelter is doing to continue finding animals their forever homes.
We just need the people who want to come and do it. We just need people who can maybe step outside their comfort zone a little bit and realize that they're going to be okay.
And with hospital workers working tirelessly to fight COVID-19, some nurses are getting extra training to lighten the load. In Hiring Hoosiers, the new program offering nurses a chance to expand their skills and help on the front lines. And here at 6 o'clock on this Monday morning, we want to welcome you into Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey. We are practicing our social distancing again this week. So I want to say good morning to my pals, Todd Clausen and Rafael Sanchez, both working from home. Hopefully you had a great Easter. Rafael, I saw you and your family spreading a little cheer, maybe with some egg drops around the area.
Yeah, we called it egging people, but instead of throwing actual eggs, it was actually eggs filled with candy going from neighbor to neighbor. So we had a great time. And of course, Todd Clausen waking up this morning, though in my living room, it's chilly, but it's the wind we're worried about on the Storm Team 6 alert day.
Yeah, you know, and that wind just starting to approach your area down in Johnson County and to portions of Marion County as well. And then eventually it'll get off towards the east. And that's why it is a Storm Team 6 alert day. A lot of times when you think about the wind, you think about thunderstorms. We don't have the storms. It's just plain old wind that is going to be heading our way here throughout the day today. So the winds really start to move in this morning with the passage of the front. We'll keep the wind gusts maybe up to 50 miles per hour through about 3-4 o'clock. And then the winds will start to calm down as we work our way into the evening hours. The wind gusts now up to 28 in Indianapolis, 40 mile per hour plus wind gusts in Lafayette as well as Terre Haute. The eastern side of the state still pretty calm for you, but again, this front is currently making its way right through the center of Indiana. There could be a shower or two as the front goes through, but nothing more than that. But it is ushering in some very, very chilly air. We've already hit our high temperatures for the day today. From about the next hour onward, temperatures will only be in the 40s throughout the remainder of the afternoon, even as we do work a little bit of sunshine in. If you're going to be out and about, Lauren, you're definitely going to need to bundle up.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look right now at traffic. This is downtown at the North Split. You can see that everything here is moving along up to speed, but a heads up to any drivers traveling from downtown over to the east side using I-70 eastbound. That is closing today. NDOT moving the timeline for that project up. This will be closed for 30 days, again, between the North Split and 465 for that road work. If you normally travel through this area, you may want to take I-65 south from the downtown area to 465. Take that around to the east side to reconnect with I-70. You can also take some streets like Washington Street that head over to the east side as a detour. We'll continue to keep you updated on this project, and heads up on the 23rd, those westbound lanes of I-70 will be closing in the same area. Rafael.
Lauren, thank you so much. In the news this morning, a new overnight, a pedestrian hit and killed by an IMPD officer. This happening on the city's southwest side. It all happened around 11 last night on Kentucky Avenue near Lyndhurst Drive. Metro Police say the officer was patrolling when he hit a man walking along the road. The officer tried to give first aid to the victim, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. As protocol, the officer was taken to get a blood test. Police are still working to learn more about what happened in this situation.
Here at 6:04, the number of COVID-19 cases in Indiana has risen to nearly 8,000. The Indiana State Department of Health confirmed 500 more cases and 13 deaths on Sunday. The total number of Hoosiers who have died from the virus is 343. Marion County has more than 2,800 cases. Hamilton County has reached more than 400. The State Department of Health has also started issuing reports on the available medical resources. They say out of the 2,800 ventilators, 73% are available for use. 16% are currently being used by COVID-19 patients. The state also says 44% of its ICU beds are open. Students at one local high school are mourning the loss of their athletic director who lost his battle with COVID-19 over the weekend. Our Alyssa Donovan is joining us live this morning from North Central High School. Alyssa, good morning.
Good morning, Lauren. Of course, this is a tremendous loss for not only students, but staff members who were colleagues with athletic director, Paul Logan for several years. We know that they lit up this field behind me last night as a tribute to Logan. Still lit up this morning as they recognize the work and impact they had on this community. Now, we know Logan lost his battle with COVID-19 Sunday afternoon. He had just turned 57 years old. The athletic director had been on a ventilator in the hospital for several days. Logan had been part of the Washington Township family since 1988. He became athletic director at North Central in 2014. A memorial was set up outside of the high school and signs that read Paul Strong. In his 31 years at the school, Logan both taught and coached. Students say he made an impact on the community and their lives.
He was a really happy, really funny guy, and he made sure he signed every athlete individually when they went off to college. If you didn't go to college, he still encouraged you for your sports career. He was just a really great guy.
He had a huge impact on the school, but he was so nice, and he loved the students here so much. They were his family.
Several students posted on social media yesterday about the impact Logan had on their lives and how he will be so missed. And North Central does want parents to know that all of their counselors will be available throughout the next week or so via email if those students need any support during this time. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. A veteran firefighter out in Terre Haute has also lost his battle with COVID-19. John Schaffstall was 41 years old. He'd been with the Terre Haute Fire Department for nearly 12 years. The fire chief tells RTV6 that John was respected by fellow firefighters as well as the community. He was a friend, and his absence will truly be felt by all. Schaffstall is survived by his wife and 2 children.
While many of us are sheltering in place, animal shelters say that this may be really a good time to get a pet. Our Kelsey Anderson has some advice and some tips. Kelsey, good morning to you.
Well, I know from experience that training a new pet is no easy feat. And with all of us being home all day long, this gives new pet owners a chance to really hone in on that training. Due to COVID-19, a lot of shelters are closed to the public, but animal welfare is still the top of mind. So in accordance with the CDC guidelines, Indy Humane is doing one-on-one adoptions by appointment. Indy Humane CEO David Horth wants people to know they can adopt, not shop, because Indy Humane is open for business.
Just in a different way. We're still intaking animals, we're still adopting animals, we're fostering animals. We are considered an essential business at this time, and we're doing everything that we can possibly do to serve the cause of animal welfare.
In a normal 2-week period, Indy Humane adopts out nearly 150 animals. And right now, Horst says they're averaging about half that. Horst says if you aren't able to adopt right now, you can consider fostering or making a monetary donation. If you are interested in adopting a new 4-legged family member, contact your local animal shelter or visit indyhumane.org. Working for you, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you so much. RTV6's Hiring Hoosiers initiative is all about jobs every day, connecting you to job opportunities right here in central Indiana. And that's key as the pandemic has put many jobs at risk. So the outbreak, though, is creating some new job opportunities right here in our home state. With normal restaurant operations like a Domino's closed under stay-at-home orders, demand is growing for carry-out and delivery services. You see, Roger Galloway at Domino's was a delivery driver when he was just a teenager. Now he's the head of training for franchises right here in the Circle City. He says the new jobs are not just about the company, they're about the community.
There's people out there that are fully trained to run full restaurants that don't have work right now. There's fathers and mothers of a number of children at home. They need income, and we want to try to provide those as much as we can.
And here is a big key figure. Domino right now needs to fill around 350 positions in the Indianapolis area. On the south side of Indianapolis, people in Perry Township are paying their respects to IMPD officer Brianne Leith. As you may recall, she was killed in the line of duty on Thursday in a domestic violence incident. Leith graduated from Southport High School, and now a large rock outside of that school building has been decorated with her name. That rock reads, R.I.P. Officer Breanne Leith, Fly High, and has a blue line painted right there in the middle. After her death, Perry Township Schools posted that the community is heartbroken to learn she lost her life, and their thoughts and prayers are with her family, many of whom have bravely served their Southside community for many years. The city remembers Breanne Leith. Now it's time to check your forecast on this Storm Team 6 alert day. And Todd Clausen says, hold on to your hats because they'll be flapping in the wind if you don't.
Yeah, you know, you definitely need to, and maybe you have some loose objects outside, your patio furniture, many people put that out already, or your garbage cans. Those are definitely going to be blowing around here from about this point forward throughout the afternoon hours as we deal with some very, very windy conditions across the area. Wind gusts could be up to 50 miles per hour. That's why a wind advisory is in place. We'll talk more about this wind advisory and how long these winds will sustain in that 30 to 40 mile per hour range coming up in your full forecast. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on RTV6.
To Keller and Keller.
Welcome back. RTV6's Hiring Hoosiers initiative is committed to connecting you to job opportunities. With more than hundreds of those COVID-19 cases being confirmed here in the state of Indiana, we know hospitals need more workers on the front lines. Our Amanda Starantino shows us how a new program is preparing nurses for critical care and helping them advance their careers along the way.
Brenda Christian is used to working with young patients at the Payne Manning Surgery Center at Ascension St. Vincent. This pediatric nurse is now on the front lines, treating the hospital's most critically ill COVID-19 patients.
We just need the people who want to come and do it. We just need people who can maybe step outside their comfort zone a little bit and realize that they're going to be okay, and it's a good opportunity to help other people to be okay.
This experienced pediatric nurse is one of nearly 200 Indiana nurses who have taken part in a new training program Ascension St. Vincent created in light of the coronavirus pandemic.
The critical care training program was that we wanted to increase the available nurses that we had out there that were not performing roles that they had done previously. There really was a large amount of nurses that were kind of displaced since we've changed things, that we could draw from.
The 2-day program teaches Ascension St. Vincent nurses the skills needed to treat the priority patients coming through their doors.
We really need nurses to step up into these roles because there's such a lack of knowledge on somebody's part. If you haven't had the class, you really don't know how to come and help in this area. Our setting is so different. Our charting is different. Our focus is different.
The benefits of the program are twofold, allowing nurses who may not be able to work a full schedule to continue working full-time and to learn new skills to grow their career.
It's a great opportunity just to see what else is out there. And really, I think there's a lot of opportunities in the future going forward for those nurses that have learned new skills who might decide that they want to try something new.
Plus, for nurses like Brenda, with a heart and passion to help others, it's a call to action.
I think it's really important for me to do it because as a nurse, you want to show all the other nurses that you work with that this is okay and we are going to get through this. And as a mother and even a daughter and a friend, I want to show my family and friends that this is what we do. This is how nurses help, and it's very empowering to do it, and it feels good.
Working for you, Amanda Starantino, RTV6 News.
Amanda, thank you. The class is taught by 4 critical care educators, all of whom have experience as critical care RNs. The cross-training nurses have come from all over central Indiana, and they're available to work in critical care across the state's Ascension St. Vincent hospitals. The time right now is 6:16. Let's check in with Todd Clausen and get a look at our Monday forecast. Hey, Todd.
Lauren, good morning to you. The wind really starting to ramp up right now across central Indiana, and it's going to be a very windy morning and early afternoon, and then things will start to calm a little bit as we work our way into the afternoon hours. These wind speeds right now are sitting up in the 20 to 30 mile per hour range, but they'll continue to ramp up close to 50 miles per hour later on today, and that's why this wind advisory is in a place across the entire state until 8 p.m. Although there is some talk from the National Weather Service that the winds aren't going to be quite as strong as the models were indicating. So that wind advisory may be dropped a little sooner than 8 o'clock, but definitely in place here through at least the afternoon hours. Now, as we work our way throughout the day today, I think the wind gusts are going to probably peak around the noon hour into just the early afternoon hours, and then they'll start to subside. Here you see the gust at 11:30, and there could be some gusts a little higher than the numbers you see on your screen. But by the time we get to 6 p.m., we're back down into the teens and 20s compared to the 30s and 40s across the area. And then overnight tonight, it just becomes a little breezy. I wouldn't call it windy at all. So with wind gusts up to 40 to 50 miles per hour, what are the impacts to you and your family? On our scale from 1 being low impact to 5 being the highest impact, by far the biggest issue with wind speeds, what we'll see today are going to be loose objects, patio furniture, garbage cans that you may still have out, and any other light items that may be blowing around in your yard, or if they're out there, they may end up in the neighbor's yard here throughout the day today. There could be some power outages, but not expecting widespread issues with these wind gusts. And there could be some falling branches, but generally those are going to be light branches or maybe some dead branches that are going to be falling out of the trees. I'm not expecting whole trees to be uprooted. Temperatures, the warmest they have been throughout the day today is in the 50s, and you notice the 40s starting to overspread the area. So it'll get cooler here throughout the remainder of the day. As far as any rain goes, as this front comes through, it's essentially coming through dry. There could be a few spotty showers, and that is just about it. So what you really need to take from the forecast today is it's going to be very windy, and it's going to be very chilly with some sunshine mixed in, with high temperatures getting back only to right around 46 degrees. Overnight tonight, we're going down to near freezing. It's a very cold overnight, and this will be a trend going forward in this forecast as temperatures are going to be running well below the average high of 63 degrees. In fact, this entire week, it's going to be a struggle to get back to 50 degrees. Overnight low temperatures, they are going to be in the 20s and 30s. So it is going to feel like the beginning of March here compared to the middle of April. Finally, for Saturday and Sunday, it does look like, Lauren, some warmth will work its way back into the forecast a little bit at least. Still below normal with highs in the 50s and 60s, but better than the 40s we'll see Monday through Friday.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. We are keeping a close eye on your roads if you do have to head out there this Monday. Here's a look right now over on the west side. No issues at I-465 near Rockville Road. You can see traffic is moving along up to speed. We'll continue to keep our eyes on your roads around the metro area throughout the morning. Raphael.
Lauren, the road to opening businesses gradually may begin as early as May, and that's according to the country's top health expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci. But social distancing will still be a priority, and how health experts quickly identify and isolate people who have COVID-19 will also be very key. Fauci's idea of a rolling re-entry, that's what he's calling it, a rolling re-entry, would be based on the pandemic status in different parts of the country. Once the number of people who are seriously ill significantly goes down, Fauci says officials in that area can begin to think about which businesses to reopen.
Well, new blood tests for the coronavirus are emerging, but some public health officials worry that these could actually hurt rather than help our path to recovery. U.S. regulators say more than 70 companies have signed up to sell these blood tests. They work by showing if a person has developed antibodies against COVID-19, meaning that they currently have it or they've had it. Health officials say getting an accurate read on that is their biggest concern, and then figuring out how much protection is needed for that person.
Right now, you may feel like you want to disinfect everything in your home, everything in your workplace if you're still going to work. But disease doctors say don't drive yourself crazy trying to sanitize your groceries. The possibility of contracting coronavirus from food packaging is very low. And if you're practicing good hand washing, those chances, they say, are even lower. But if you need some peace of mind, doctors say use a lot of soap and water to wipe down packages. Disinfectant sprays and wipes can seep in and contaminate the food, so that's a bad idea. When it comes to produce, just use good old water. Hair salons and barbershops have been deemed non-essential during this pandemic, but many of us still need a haircut. So coming up, the risks some salon workers are taking to resume those appointments.
Well, get ready, Bachelor Nation. The romantic escape you've been looking for is finally here. The Bachelor presents Listen to Your Heart. That premieres tonight right here on RTV6. And coming up on Good Morning America, Chris Harrison will be live to talk about why this is The Bachelor's most ambitious franchise yet. It is 6:22. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Help when you need it.
It is 6:25. Raphael, it is time to talk about what is trending at 6.
Creativity, Lauren, is what's ruling these days during this pandemic. So I want to show you, right, what this letter carrier is doing in her community. This may happen maybe one day in Indiana. We'll have to see what happens. During the COVID-19 outbreak, many rely even more on Postal Service for their essential products. One North Carolina mail carrier is taking time to make people smile, as you can see, by running her routes in costume. Oh, yeah, you saw her just there. That's Tracy Lewis. She was wearing a traffic cone, and then Mama Shark, and even a pirate demanding toilet paper. Arg. She says she won't stop dressing up until she's told not to run out of ideas. Hey, if my letter carrier did that, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
I'd buy extra stamps. I mean,
like
wow.
that traffic cone costume. That's pretty funny. So a police department.
Of course you do.
I know, right? A police department in Connecticut wanted to help people celebrate this Easter by handing out Easter baskets, but they didn't have your typical jelly beans or chocolate bunnies. No, they're filled with something much more valuable right now: personal protective equipment, including masks and gloves. There's some candy in there as well. Officers gave the baskets out to people 55 and older because they're more at risk for COVID-19.
Let me take you north on Interstate 65. Here in Indiana, a fire department also wanted to spread some Easter cheer with the help of the Easter Bunny. The Munster Fire Department rode through neighborhoods with the Easter Bunny, as you can see right there on the fire ladder. Kids young and old stood waving outside, having a great time. The Easter Bunny and the fire department traveled 105 miles in 9 hours for their holiday parade. What good, again, creativity and good cheer dealing with this pandemic.
Yes, I love that idea. Well, Easter Sunday, hopefully you got in maybe some pictures outside before the rain moved in. Today in the forecast, Todd, we are talking about the wind.
Yeah, it's all about the gusty winds and also the chilly temperatures, Lauren, that'll be in place. The wind's part of a cold front that are working their way through the area, and wind gusts are really starting to ramp up. Anywhere you see the color on your screen, that's where wind gusts are at least 20 to 40 miles per hour across the area, and we'll stay in this range throughout much of the day today. It's not really till this evening that the winds will start to calm down, and that's why there is a wind advisory that's in place for the entire state. As far as temperatures, we've already hit our high for the day today in the 50s. Through, we will be in the 40s, getting back up to about 47 degrees by 5 p.m. But that white line with the miles per hour, that's the wind, sustained winds. And you notice once we get into the afternoon hours, they will start to calm down just a little bit. But boy, this morning it's going to be very, very windy as this front moves through. We'll talk about how long these chilly temperatures are going to last. Coming up in Maine weather in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. Well, among businesses deemed non-essential right now, barber shops and hair salons, right? We all feel that. So if you need a cut or a color, what can you do? Consumer reporter John Matarese shows us why getting a cut anywhere right now is risky, so you don't waste your money.
Need a haircut soon? Good luck. Well, restaurants are open on a limited basis, and some people can work from home. The salon industry is shut down tight right now. For hairstylists, nail techs, and barbers, the only work now is cleaning. Their appointment books are frozen in time on March 16th.
We're all struggling. I mean, we have no way of income.
Owner Barbara Naylor is hoping they soon see the promised unemployment benefits. 30-year stylist Mary Beth Jacobs, though, also worries about her customers.
Totally miss our clients. They're our family.
The employees here say they're getting calls from clients who really want to help them and are asking if they can come to their house and do a haircut there.
State law, we're not allowed to do services outside of the salon or in-home or in their homes.
Barbara says there are two risks trying to cut hair at home. One, legal.
Our licenses could be revoked.
But two, everyone's health.
We can't go to homes and be that close to people. You can't do hair 6 feet away.
Yeah, just can't.
No, it's impossible.
You know, I don't want them to come to my house because you don't know where people have been. You know, you think you might know somebody, but you don't know where they've been.
Barbara realizes some stylists may go to homes because they need the cash, but her stylists are just hoping, as their sign says optimistically, that they'll be back soon. Now, the stimulus does provide help for hairstylists who normally don't qualify for unemployment, though many of them have yet to see a check so far. As always, don't waste your money. Working for you, I'm John Matteries. Good morning, Indiana.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now on Good Morning Indiana on this Monday morning, here's a look at your 6:30 news feed. A man is dead after being hit by an IMPD patrol car. This happened around 11 o'clock last night on the southwest side near Southland Hurst Drive and Kentucky Avenue. We're told the officer was on his patrol beat while driving north when his car hit the man. The man died at the scene.
Hometown singer and producer Kenneth Babyface Edmonds is now recovering after testing positive for COVID-19. Babyface made the announcement on Twitter on Friday, which was also his 62nd birthday. He says it's an incredibly scary thing to go through, but he says he's happy to report he and his family are now on their way back to full health.
Starting tomorrow, the Fresh Market will require customers to wear masks when entering the store. In central Indiana, there are 2 Fresh Market locations, one in Broad Ripple, one in Carmel. The same rule applies to team members as well. In a statement, the store says the move is to, quote, help keep our community safe during this time. The store also says the requirement is in accordance with the latest CDC recommendations.
It is a new week, and we continue to social distance here at RTV6. Good morning to you on this Monday, April the 13th. It is also a Storm Team 6 alert day, Lauren.
Yes, and we are checking in with Todd Clausen, who says the wind will really be the factor today, Todd.
Yeah, you know, and those wind speeds just now starting to pick up, Lauren, as this cold front makes its way through the area. That's why it is a Storm Team 6 day. We'll get one big gust of wind coming in here as this front actually passes through your neighborhood. Once that goes through, the wind speeds will remain pretty blustery throughout much of the afternoon hours before they slowly start to calm heading into the evening. But a wind advisory is posted for the entire state until 8 p.m. tonight. Here are your current wind speeds. If you joined us at 4:30 this morning, there was no color on this map in the state of Indiana. And I told you that as we progress throughout the morning hours, that this color contour, which signifies stronger winds, would start to fill in from west to east across the state, and that's exactly what's happening. You notice wind speeds anywhere from 28 to 43 miles per hour, and we'll continue to be in that range throughout a good chunk of the morning as this cold front makes its way through. There could be a quick sprinkler or two as this front passes in your neighborhood, but we're not looking at much of anything in the way of significant rainfall throughout the day today. The big story, just this wind. It's chilly as well, as temperatures will only stay in the 40s throughout the entire day. And it's not just a one-day deal as far as these chilly temperatures go. It remains chilly throughout the entire week. We'll talk more about that coming up in Maine weather in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. We do have a traffic alert this morning. Construction on I-70 begins today. Indiana's stay-at-home order because of COVID-19 means that roads have way less traffic on them than normal. And that's why INDOT has moved up this massive construction project that will impact traffic near downtown. Officials say traffic volume has fallen by 40% since the stay-at-home order went into effect. So INDOT is hoping to get this project done before the heavier traffic patterns resume. I-70 eastbound between the North Split downtown and 465 on the east side will be closed for up to 30 days. And then starting April 23rd, the westbound lanes of I-70 will be shut down also between 465 and the North Split. That means major detours through and around the city. If you are trying to get over to the east side from downtown, stay through the splits, get on 65, head southbound to the 465 interchange on the south side. Take that around to the east side, and there you can reconnect with 70 eastbound at the interchange. You can also take streets like Washington Street over to the east side from closer to the downtown area. Keep that in mind and use caution. As always, watch for construction crews out on the roads. They are still working during the stay-at-home order. We have all of those detours and more information for you right now at theindychannel.com.
Now let's take a look at the COVID-19 numbers in our state. The state health department reporting 13 more deaths on Sunday. That brings the total to 343 Hoosiers, a somber figure here in our state. Here's a look at that latest map. Indiana is now up to more than 7,900 positive COVID-19 cases. You can see that here in Marion County continues to lead the state, which is expected given the size of the population here in the capital city. Marion County has seen more than 2,800 people officially test positive, with 123 deaths. Now here's a look at what doctors are paying close attention to, and that's the curve of new infections. You can see that the curve is still high, though the number of newly reported cases has dropped slightly over the last 2 days. We'll get an update on all of these numbers at noon today.
Well, one of those tragic deaths, an athletic director at a Central Indiana high school. Today, students and staff are mourning the loss of Paul Logan. Our Alyssa Donovan is joining us live outside of North Central High School this morning. And Alyssa, Logan made a huge impact on that school community.
That's right, Lauren. He really did. He was part of the Washington Township community for just over 30 years, acting as a coach and, of course, as the athletic director and even a teacher at times. And you can see behind me that they have lit up the stadium as a tribute to Logan. The athletics department tweeting that this was his favorite place. And those were lit up last night, so they've been on all night. We know that Logan lost his battle to COVID-19 Sunday afternoon after being hospitalized for several days. The 57-year-old worked in some capacity for Washington Township since 1988. He taught and coached students. Logan was the athletic director for the last 6 years. Students and staff set up a memorial outside of the school yesterday, flowers and signs that read, "Paul Strong." Students say Logan was more than just a coach. He was a mentor who truly cared.
He was a really happy, really funny guy, and he made sure he signed every athlete individually when they went off to college. If you didn't go to college, he still encouraged you for your sports career. He was just a really great guy.
He had a huge impact on the school, but he was so nice, and he loved the students here so much. They were his family.
Our dear friend,
The North Central High School Wind Ensemble gathered via Zoom over the weekend to play the school's fight song. They dedicated it to Logan and his fight against COVID-19 the day before he died. Now, Logan leaves behind a wife and 3 children, as well as the thousands of students whose lives he's touched over the years. And the North Central High School says that they are making their counselors available via email to any students who need to support during this time. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
The community mourns the memory of a beloved educator. Thank you so much, Alyssa. Nationwide, the number of people who have died from COVID-19 is now more than 22,000 Americans. And now there's an ongoing debate between the president and health officials about stay-at-home orders and when to restart the economy. ABC's Alex Preche reports.
The president says the key for the country reopening is for states to perfect their testing. Though now there are questions. Should this messaging and also guidance about social distancing have come from him sooner? This morning on the front lines, the newest crop of medical workers are ready for battle.
It wasn't an easy decision for everybody, but for me, it was the right thing to do. So
Rebecca Noonan, now a doctor, chose to graduate from medical school 1 month early. She will join the fight in New York City, where the hospitalization rate is dropping, but the crisis is far from over. New York State's coronavirus death rate has been in the high 700s for the last several days.
That's the so-called flattening of the curve. It has been flattening, but flattening at a terribly high level.
Across the country, other hot zones are emerging. In Pennsylvania, the governor now predicting a surge in cases this week. Cases in Texas already surging. The governor there considering opening some businesses next week despite caution from public health officials. Several governors have been critical of the federal response. And a coronavirus task force health expert admits government inaction may have cost American lives.
That if you had a process that was ongoing and you started mitigation earlier, you could have saved lives. Obviously, no one is going to deny that. But what goes into those kinds of decisions is complicated.
And overnight, the president continuing to defend his response, calling that New York Times report fake news. He also retweeted a message critical of Dr. Fauci that ended with the words, "Time to #fire Fauci." Alex Preche, ABC News, Washington.
The time right now is 6:39. We're spending a lot of time at home these days, but business continues as usual for animal shelters. They're still taking in a number of animals, and they're still working hard to find them homes during this pandemic. Our Kelsey Anderson tells us what one local shelter is doing to get their animals adopted.
While we're all at home right now, the fear of the unknown can sometimes be sad or even scary. But I know for me personally, a snuggle with this girl can make a lot of situations a lot better. Due to COVID-19, a lot of shelters are closed to the public, but animal welfare is still the top of mind. So in accordance with the CDC guidelines, Indy Humane is doing one-on-one adoptions by appointment.
Adopting a dog as a permanent member of your family, it's a wonderful time to do that, especially if it's a younger dog and needs house training and things like that.
In a normal 2-week period, Indy Humane adopts out nearly 150 animals. Right now, Horst says they're at about half of that. If you are interested in getting a new 4-legged family member, you can call your local shelter or visit indyhumane.org. Working for you, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
The honors and remembrances continue for a beloved member of the police force. Next on Good Morning Indiana, how the city plans to say goodbye to Officer Brianne Leith later this week. You're watching Good Morning Indiana, only on RTV6.
RTV6 app. RTV6 working for you.
It is 6:43 this morning. The city of Indianapolis continues to mourn the loss of IMPD officer Brianne Leith. The 24-year-old was shot and killed in the line of duty on Thursday while responding to a domestic violence call. That night, the city was lit up in blue to honor healthcare workers and first responders on the front lines of the COVID-19 pandemic. That display took on a new meaning following the loss of Officer Leith. IMPD officer Ron Shelnut produced this powerful video with footage captured that night on Monument Circle. Mayor Joe Hogsett also giving a tribute to Officer Leith.
Light a candle, say a prayer, hug your family, and in that moment, remember how lucky we are to have brave men and brave women like Officer Leith in our city tonight and every night.
Officer Leith is remembered as a true public servant, described by fellow officers as dedicated and compassionate, a hero who was an example of what an IMPD officer should be. Community members wishing to donate in her honor can contribute to the Brianne Leith Memorial Fund by the Central Indiana Police Foundation. Light It Blue on Monument Circle will continue each night until Officer Leith is laid to rest. A virtual service for Officer Leith will be held this Thursday, April 16th at 11 a.m. Services will be held at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Due to the current restrictions under the coronavirus, the public will not be able to attend in person, and there will not be a public visitation. Instead, you are invited to participate in the funeral service by watching it online. Officers in attendance will remain in their vehicles to honor Officer Leith prior to the beginning of service. We'll have more details in the coming days. And the man accused of killing Officer Leith and shooting another woman is facing murder and attempted murder charges. Elias Dorsey was taken into custody shortly after the shooting. Investigators say officers were responding to a domestic violence call prior to the shooting. The death of Officer Leith is renewing calls from survivors and advocates of domestic violence to raise awareness. We want to warn you that some of the following images may be disturbing to see. Renita Hills is a survivor of domestic violence. These pictures from the hospital show how close she came to losing her life. Many people don't realize they're in domestic abuse situations, which can involve emotional, verbal, or financial abuse. Renita says she's grateful to the officers like Officer Leith who risked their lives. She also says many people don't know how hard it is to leave a violent situation.
I'm a survivor myself, so I know that feeling to be calling and needing help and hoping somebody comes in time. This wonderful, wonderful woman put her life on the line.
Well, Renita's organization, Voice of the Victim, helps survivors get the tools they need to survive, like financial planning and counseling. Raphael.
That's okay. That's okay.
Advocates say that sadly stay-at-home orders due to COVID-19 are prompting a surge in domestic violence. If you or someone you know needs help, you can call the domestic violence hotline at 1-800-332-7385. We also have a link to other resources online at theindychannel.com and also at the RTV6 app. Here at 6:46, it was a violent night for much of the South. Next, some destruction left behind by a line of severe storms. Todd.
The wind, Lauren, just now starting to ramp up across central Indiana. These wind gusts are going to peak here towards mid-afternoon and then slowly tail off as we work our way into the evening hours. But a wind advisory is in place for all of central Indiana until 8 p.m. tonight. We'll talk about the wind and these chilly temperatures that are going to be sticking around coming up as Good Morning Indiana continues right here on RTV6. The time now is 6:46. Stay with us. We're back in just a couple minutes.
Call Clear Choice today.
Everything just ripped off and everything was gone. It was gone.
Well, emergencies have been declared from Louisiana to Tennessee following a violent night of severe storms that included several reports of tornadoes. At least 6 people reported dead in Mississippi, including a sheriff's deputy. And overnight, at least 5 more deaths were reported in North Georgia. Many people were forced to ignore the coronavirus protocols as they gathered in shelters because of the devastation in their homes.
It is now time to check our local forecast. Todd, it's always hard to see people dealing with those images, whether it's here, as we saw last week in Mooresville, or down south. And today we're expecting strong winds, but nothing like what they saw down south.
Yeah, you know, we're avoiding the severe weather and the threat of any tornadoes. The winds could cause some minor damage here across central Indiana, but we'll take that trade-off for some gusty winds compared to the threat of severe weather any day. But it is a Storm Team 6 alert day for us, and we're in alert mode because there's a wind advisory. And this wind is going to disrupt you just a little bit throughout the course of the day today with these wind gusts that could be as high as about 50 miles per hour. But this evening, that's when the winds are going to start to calm down across the area. That's the good news, but these gusty winds continue to expand eastward across the state. 28 miles per hour, the latest wind gust in Indianapolis, but 43 in Terre Haute. For those of you in Muncie and Richmond, your wind just now starting to pick up a little bit. And these wind gusts will peak as we get into early afternoon. I would say between about noon and 2 o'clock with gusts anywhere from about 25 to 30 miles per hour sustained. Some gusts even a little bit higher than that. And then this evening, they'll start to subside back down to more just what we'll call breezy conditions. And that's what's going to be with us throughout the overnight hours as well. So on our threat scale from 1 to 5 on our impact level, 5 being the highest, loose objects, some garbage cans, patio furniture, other things that could be in your yard that could be blown away, most likely will be knocked over at least with these gusty winds. And there could be some minor power outages here throughout the area with these gusty winds, but it shouldn't be anything terrible, I don't think, as we only deal with these gusty winds for a relatively short period of time, at least compared to what we've seen last week when we had those gusty winds for almost 2 days. 50s still to the east where the front has yet to make it. 30s and 40s on the backside of this front. And those 40s will overspread the entire area throughout the course of the day today. Our high temperatures have already occurred. We'll get down to about 40 degrees by mid-morning and then slowly warm with some sunshine this afternoon, back up into the mid-40s. Going forward in this forecast, as this front comes through, there's a sprinkle or two, nothing more than that, but it is ushering in some chilly temperatures that are going to be sticking around not only today, but this entire week. This is going to be a pretty common theme with low temperatures that will be down in the 30s. Really, this entire week, it's probably not until Sunday morning that low temperatures will start to moderate just a little bit. So it's a prolonged period of very cold overnight lows and very chilly afternoon highs, with the highs that'll only be in the mid to upper 40s through Friday. And then eventually, as we work our way into Saturday and Sunday, finally some warmer temperatures start to appear. But don't be shocked, unfortunately, I hate to say this, on Thursday if you see a few rain and or snow showers, Lauren, across parts of the area.
Todd, thank you so much. When you're stuck at home during a pandemic and you need one of these necessities of life, what do you do? Coming up, we get the answer from a woman who is now getting authors to get her some supplies from all around the world. Her story and much more next when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on RTV6.
We're working together, working for you. Welcome back. The COVID-19 pandemic has most of us staying home a lot more. And so for a 93-year-old woman in Pittsburgh, that means she had to get creative in keeping an essential supply in the house. Raphael.
Creativity. A relative came to check in on Olive Veronese, and they saw her holding a sign asking for help. So, of course, you got to help her. But not just any sign. Take a look. Young Olive here had scrawled on a whiteboard, "I need more beer." We assume the can of Coors Lights she is holding was letting people know her preference. That picture has now gone viral on Facebook, and Olive has had plenty of offers from around the world, from people offering to send her some cold brewskis. Okay, Olive, if that's what you want to drink, but everything in moderation, Olive. Everything in moderation.
Oh my goodness, it's so funny. I think she's going to have a pretty good supply of beer from now on after that goes viral. All right, Todd, if people are stuck in their homes, what can they expect today?
You know, very windy here, at least the first half of the day, Lauren. That's why that wind advisory is in place across central Indiana. The winds will subside later on this evening, but boy, it's going to be chilly today with highs only in the 40s.
Todd, thanks. We're back in 25 minutes and throughout Good Morning America with your news, weather, and local traffic.